No, I believe that the wife should be more dominant than the husband. As the saying goes, whatever you give a woman, she will make it greater. If you give her your sperm, she'll give you a baby. If you give her a house, she'll give you a home. If you give her groceries, she'll give you a meal. So if you give her your smile, she'll give you her heart. So basically, a woman multiply and enlarge what is given to her. So if you give her something bad, be ready to receive much worse than that.
I agree with my wife. Tama yung sinabi niya. Hindi kailangan ng dominante kahit nasaang panig. Dapat pantay lang sila para sa family nila.
For me, no. Because both of them should be powerful. There is no such thing like powerful, or there's no such thing like more powerful than the other one. Kasi kaya nga kayo nag-asawa eh. Kaya nga kayo nag-decide na maging mag-asawa for you to be equally powered in both ways. Kasi if someone, or if the other one is more powerful than you, then bakit pa siya naghanap ng partner niya, right? Bakit pa niya gagamitin yung sarili niya to be more dominant sa isang tao? So magsarili na lang siya if that's the case. So since they are already mag-asawa, dapat walang mas angat sa kanilang dalawa.
For me, it's not important anymore if who is more dominant in a relationship, because a relationship should be equal in treatment, in receiving and in giving, as much as we like to be respected as a man and a woman, because I believe that there is a particular specific dominance in a gender. Like for example, for a woman, meron silang specific na kakayahan na parang nagawin sa relasyon na ganun din sa lalaki.
I don't think the husband should be more dominant than the wife, or neither one, because a marriage is supposed to be the union of two equal partners, not one person trying to dominate the other. It's supposed to be both people using their love para ma-improve ang situation ng family nila. It should be teamwork. Wala dapat dominantes. Either yung husband or yung wife. It should always be equal.
For me, I strongly believe that it takes two to tango. So similarly, it takes two people to create a home. In this case, there shouldn't be a question about dominance, meaning husbands should not be more dominant than the wife, and wives should not be dominant than the husband in the household as well. I could explain this in three reasons, mainly three reasons, namely personal, spousal, and familial. So first, when I say personal, an individual who acts dominant in a household holds significant power to control a person. So this affects the dominant person since he or she would not learn how to compromise, and instead he or she would just continue to manipulate the situation for their own good. Similarly, it also affects the one who is submissive, because sooner or later the manipulation would affect their individuality, their mental health. The continuous manipulation of their spouses would affect how they see and even handle themselves. These two instances would result to two individuals having interpersonal issues that would affect their well-being. Second reason is the spousal, spousal. So husband and wife were married for love and not to assert dominance, right? In a relationship where someone is not seen as skillful and worthy would often lead to toxic arguments. Their spousal relationship should be anchored by seeing each other as equals and partners, not as someone who has higher value or skills or contributions. This toxicity would eventually cause difficulties for both individuals, to survive the relationship. Which leads me to the third reason, which is the familial. By this, I mean, kasi diba, the aim of marriage is to create a home for their children. So having a family that values dominance of males would send a different message to their children. So as children observe this, trend where someone is more, where one parent is more dominant than the other, they would realize that treating other people differently because they think they are below you affects the personality of their children. So moreover, this sense of dominance would eventually be passed on their future uh, spouses, the future spouses of their children, which would make the relationship difficult. So it kinds of create a ripple effect. Basically, I think those are the reasons why there shouldn't be dominance, may it be husband or wife, when it comes to the household.
I believe that the answer for this question is neither, because it is plain simple that leadership is built through character and ideas and not by the sex or gender.
Para sa akin, lalaki. Dahil men possesses a clear vision, courage, integrity, honesty, humility, and clear focus. Focus lang sa goal.
For me, both gender are capable to be a leader. Walang kasarian ang makapagsasabi kung sino ang the best na maging leader or the best na pamunuan ang isang bansa o isang lugar, sapagkat ito ay hindi naaayon sa kasarian ng isang tao. Ito ay tungkol sa kapasidad at galing ng isang tao o anong kasarian man yan para patakbuhin at tulungan ang kanyang nasasakupan.
Men are better leaders for me, although there are women who are great leaders, but there are only few of them because of the fact that most of the women allows their emotions to affect their professions, unlike men who are solid and very professional when it comes to job, na kaya nilang i-separate ang problema sa trabaho.
Ako naman, leadership is mostly something that a person develops throughout their lifetime, and some are naturally gifted with certain leadership qualities while others can't. So my answer is no, women are not better leaders or men are not better leaders either. Yun naman sa akin kasi it can be always developed naman. It depends on the character of the person then. It's not about the gender.
I think at this point in time, we have many women who are leaders, may it be in politics or in different institutions. And I think we view women as better leaders than men now. It has been long enough that we are living in a patriarchal society. So it is high time to start changing these norms and be accepting of change. There has been little evidences of women being great leaders. If you search for studies like that, there has been little evidences really. But this is because I think women are not given the chance to lead. In addition, women can offer in leading a country In addition, women have been performing equal or even better pa nga than men in their respective fields. It shows that the level of competence women can offer in leading a country would be very, very refreshing than what we are used to. Like, as I said, in a patriarchal society, women are not only excelling in their field of work, but they continue to mold future citizens in their households. So basically just like how they nurture their homes, they can use it to nurture as leaders as well. This shows how much potential women have in themselves. If you search for more studies, especially in the scientific perspective, cognitive and emotional quotients of women differ greatly from men. Most studies show that men have lower emotional quotient but higher intellectual quotient. So it means that they are more capable of thinking rationally and setting aside their emotions when it comes to decisions. But I think being able to connect with their people through women's emotional quotient would help them understand the issues better. Because they're not only viewing it in a rational perspective or in an objective perspective, they are also capable of seeing what's within. So I think those are the reasons for my choice, that women could be better leaders than men.
I think that it is not proper for a girl to say I love you first because men are known to always make the first move. And making the first move implies that he is a gentleman. And as for the women, they would find it more attractive. So yeah.
Para sa akin, okay din na babae ang magsabi. Pero mas maganda if lalaki ang magsabi. Unang magsabi. Dahil mas appropriate naman talaga na lalaki ang magsabi ng word na I love you. And the word is chivalry.
For me, it is still proper. You know why? Kasi wala sa kasarian yan. As long as you feel something to someone, then sabihin mo. Sabihin mo yon. Regardless kung ikaw yung mauunang magsasabi. Kumbaga, ngayong ganito na yung ano natin, yung mundo natin, wala na yun. Wala nang value or wala nang pakialam kung sino yung magpo-first move. As long as your feelings to someone is sincere, then sabihin mo to show your emotion, to express your emotion, to express your feelings to someone. So I believe walang mali sa pagpo-first move sa babae. So yan.
I think it's normal to say I love you for a girl first, ganyan. Because every person's feelings is valid and there is no bad in expressing it.
I don't see any reason why not, because you only live once, so you have to express yourself. Kung mahal mo yung tao, edi sabihin mo. Diba? Dapat ganun mga girls kasi yun nga, you only live once. Life is too short to have regrets. So, yun, always express yourself.
For me, it does not matter if a girl or a boy would say I love you first. What's not proper is saying the 3 words to a person without meaning it. So I don't think that it is not proper for a girl to say I love you first. However, going back to the question, I think it's just because of the societal norms placed on the behavior of women towards men. I think those should be changed. In this case, this question is rooted from the societal norm that women would lose their value and worth when they approach men in their lives, when they make the first move and whatnot. This is not the case. A girl's value should not be determined by the dictations of the society. Instead, it should be based on what you perceive yourself to be. Girls, boys, or any gender may say I love you, but I strongly believe that these words should be treated meaningfully, and saying it should not be a kind of a way to reduce your value at some sort.
My opinion on this is that women shouldn't be blamed for the sexual harassment they receive because of their clothing. It is pretty obvious that men should know the difference between compliment and harassment. I think it is also the fault of men for not educating themselves properly, and I think that they should have at least the sense of responsibility not to sexualize women.
Kasalanan din ng mental health ng lalaki
Oo, I mean,
kapag
siguro it
ganun.
depends
Yung
na-
sa mental capacity niya. Baka naka-drugs siya or whatsoever. Kaya, no, hindi kasalanan ng babae.
I believe hindi kasalanan ng mga babae na nababastos sila. Alright? So, hindi kasalanan ng mga babae kung nababastos sila dahil sa way ng pananamit nila or sa suot nila. Kasi, boys are boys. Kahit anong suot ng babae, kung gusto nilang bastusin yon, magagawa nila yon. Kahit nakapantalon pa yung babae na yan, as long as they nakita nila na malaki yung puwetan, then their attraction is there. Na-attract sila doon sa nakikita nila. So, hindi kasalanan ng babae na nababastos siya dahil sa pananamit niya. Kasalanan yun ng lalaki dahil mali yung pagtingin niya sa kapwa niya tao. So, yun. Men should
No, because woman's style of clothing will never be an excuse for any man to harass them. Revealing clothes like that doesn't mean an invitation to any boy who can't control their hormones and who have no respect. And
It's never the women's fault. It's a big no for me because hindi naman lahat ng nare-rape malaswa yung pananamit. Meron namang proper pa rin yung attire nila pero nare-rape sila. May mga bata pa nga di ba?
Tama.
Or mga
Meron pang mga bata.
ano.
Mga
So,
walang
I
kamuwang-muwang.
don't think, or yeah, it's never the women's fault. Kasi, yeah, depends yung kamanyakan ng mga lalaki talaga.
Tama.
Kasi, di ba? Ano naman yun. So, it's a big no for yung question na yun.
This is a very controversial issue that has been going on for so many years now, especially in our society. Sexual harassment is not limited to wearing skimpy clothing. With this, I strongly say that clothes, may it be skimpy or not, doesn't equate to an invitation nor consent to sexual acts. I mean, there are reported cases of sexual harassment on women who are wearing overalls, pajamas, long dresses, or any sort of clothing. There are even cases where there is sexual harassment occurring among children, seniors, people with disability. So, there are no common denominator in these cases, especially about what they were wearing at that time, aside from the common denominator of having the presence of sexual predators. So that's the only problem, the presence of sexual predators. The blame should not be put on women wearing skimpy clothing. Living in a patriarchal society tends to put the blame on females and accept the behaviors of men. Diba? Women's clothing are blamed, while men are given the leeway because there's this bias against women, I think. So, women's clothing should not be the problem in this. It should be the society continuously tolerating the problematic behavior of these sexual predators. Instead of putting the blame on women, the society should reflect on how they are molding children to be future sexual predators. I mean, that perspective should be changed. Na that women wearing revealing clothes are at fault for being sexually harassed. Therefore, I strongly say that women are not the problem. Instead, it is the societal toleration on the problematic behaviors of sexual predators.
issues. Scientifically, men are stronger than the female gender. So, if I would answer this question, I believe that men should be the forefront protecting gender issues, and I also conclude that they shouldn't be not causing it. Yeah, thank you.
Para sa akin, hindi lang lalaki dapat ang mag-forefront dahil karapatan naman nating lahat na mapakinggan tayo kahit magkakaiba man ng ating mga opinion at vision sa mga bagay-bagay.
For me, kahit hindi, still okay. Like, kahit babae, pwedeng manguna sa pag-protect sa gender issues. Why? Kasi hindi na yan tungkol sa kasarian mo. Hindi na yan tungkol sa gender mo. Kung paano ka magkakaroon ng pagkakataon para maprotektahan ng isang gender issue. Because kahit babae ka, as long as you know na maipaglalaban ka or maipaglalaban mong isang bagay, then you can do it.
No, it should be both women and men and all gender na nagtatanggol or may responsibilidad sa pagtatanggol sa gender issues, because gender issue is a human
Oo, kasi women should know how to stand up on their rights din naman. Hindi naman porke sa lalaki lang tayo palaging umaasa ng magpoprotekta sa atin, kasi meron din naman tayong isip at marunong din naman tayong magsalita kung yung mga rights natin as a women din. Ayun. So, wag iasa palagi sa mga lalaki.
I do not think that only men should be at the forefront of advocating gender issues. There's two reasons behind that, I think. First, studies show that most men are narcissistic in nature. Once gender issues will be recognized, they would be directing the recognition and praises to themselves instead of the collective community. Moreover, men are not as informed and invested in the experience of gender issues. I mean, as I said in the previous questions, we are living in a patriarchal society, so the society tends to favor more on men most of the time. However, I understand that men experience gender issues as well, and so I say that men should not be the only ones at the forefront. I mean, we have the LGBTQIA+, we have many types of genders nowadays, and I think it is best to provide a platform for each and every one, especially the ones who are oppressed in the society. In this case, they would be able to create laws, advocacies, and programs that would be individualized. I mean, that would be fitting to their experiences and solve the said gender issues.